Hello, it's Robert Miner with Dynamic Traders Group with our DT Trade Strategies video for the week beginning November 2nd, 2020. And what an exciting week it's probably going to be. Here's where we give you just a brief video about one or two markets, potential trade opportunities or trend continuations for the upcoming week. I hope if you like what you hear here and what you learn here, because it's as much about teaching you how to trade as it is about identifying just a specific trade that's coming up. Whatever we talk about, you can apply to other markets and other time frames. Well, if you like what you hear, check out our DT reports at dynamictraders.com, where we got a 1-month trial available from $19 for first-time subscribers. Also check out High Probability Trading Strategies book, which is a really comprehensive book on time, price, pattern, momentum, multiple time frame, and specific trade strategies from entry to exit. Okay, let's get started. This week we're just going to take a brief look at the stock indexes. I look at them most weeks. We're at a really critical time. We had some significant technical signals this past week, signals that we had anticipated would occur if you follow our videos, our weekly videos, and particularly, of course, if you're a subscriber to our DT reports where you get the daily updates and the signal as soon as it's made. Well, here's the weekly data for the SPX. Of course, we had a big down week. Two critical things happened in the past week. Number one, let's start at the bottom of the chart. This is our DT oscillator. It's really helpful to identify momentum reversals, momentum cycles, which frequently coincide with price cycles. And there's ways we use this not as a trading system, but as a really important signal on the probable trend direction for the time in the future, in the next few bars, depending on what time frame we're looking at. Well, this is weekly data. We made a bear reversal from just about right at the overbought zone this past week. So that's significant because usually that means we'll be at least another 2 to 3 weeks sideways to down. So that's a really useful piece of information. Now, of course, nothing's set in stone. We're not forecasting. We're trading based on technical conditions. But typically, when we get that bear reversal in the 8 look back, we're going to be sideways to down for 2 or 3 weeks. And let's take a further look, a little more detail on the weekly data here. We also, of course, had a new closing low. I'm going to put on just closing data here. That's close-only data. Close-only data is really important no matter, well, I shouldn't say no matter what time frame. It's not relevant at all in intraday time frame, but it's very important in daily time frame and weekly time frame. We made a new weekly lower close this past week. That confirms that this is what we call a weekly high, and we have probably several more weeks to go sideways to down. So that's a pretty significant signal. Before we go to the daily data and immediate trade setups, there's one thing I want to just mention here, if you happen to have some background in Elliott wave, is that I've got a question mark here. If this is an irregular A, B, and C, going to be a flat or irregular, I don't really know if that's going to happen. But here's one thing I do know. One thing I know, and anybody that is familiar with and has some expertise in Elliott wave, I've been following it and using it for almost 35 years now. But there's no way to look at this advance as an impulsive advance, meaning the higher time frame trend is bullish. There's no way to look at it from that point of view, from an Elliott wave perspective. What I would say, no legitimate way to look at it. So I believe this is probably part of a what we call an larger time frame irregular correction. So be that as it may, all irrelevant for making a specific trade decision right now. What is relevant, though, is we made this bear reversal in the 8 daily momentum, or weekly momentum, and we've made a new weekly closing low. So all hands on deck for short trades over the next few weeks. However, Here's our daily data, and the daily momentums, we just look at momentums, on Friday made a dual look-back bull reversal. That's a very reliable signal that we're 1 or 2 bars from having completed, in this case, a daily low. So if it's not complete Friday, it should be within a day or two, just based on the daily momentum position, or we call this dual time frame momentum position. So let's take a look at some other information here. It's really relevant. We've got some significant time factors between last Thursday and this Monday. Just a couple of them I'm showing here. That's the low to low to low was last Thursday. And here we have the 100% alternate time projection of what I got labeled the wave 1 or A decline. That was 15 days down. As of Friday, 14 days down. Monday will be 15. And so we should complete this daily low by Monday. And of course, we also have Tuesday is the U.S. Election, which is a major news event. And well, we'll talk about that at another time and what is the probable aftermath of that. But that's not for today. And then we also have the Fed announcement on Wednesday, the 4th. So what are they going to announce? I don't know. We're certainly not going to be reducing interest rates because I think they're at 0 or close to 0. But still, markets react to that. So where are we at? We're probably going to make a daily low here by Monday if it's not complete on Friday. What do I mean by a daily low? Once we make that daily low, is we should have a 3 to 5 day corrective advance. Higher time frame weekly trend is bearish now, so we should have a 3 to 5 day corrective advance followed by a resumption of the bear trend to a new low. So I don't know if that's going to happen immediately because of the election that we have coming in, as there could be all kinds of volatility. Here's the one thing that's very likely, though. Once that's settled out, we're going to continue lower for probably another 2 to 3 weeks. Whether we do that immediately or we get that 3 or 5 day correction, either way, for me at least, and the technical position is the way we look at it, not a time to be looking to go long. Could be wrong, but everything is in alignment that pretty soon we're going to continue this bear trend to a new low. So here's 3171. That's the 100% alternate price projection of the wave, what I got labeled at least, wave 1 or A decline from the 2 or B top. And we would look at that as a probable minimum downside. I got it because of the trend of the weekly data, and then we've got probably at least another 2 or 3 weeks sideways to down. I suspect it's going to exceed that. However, I would be looking at that at this point in time as the probable, eventually at least, the minimum target on the downside around 3171, 100% alternate price projection. So that's how I see the stock indexes now. They're all basically in alignment, telling us the same thing. One thing that's fairly critical, let me show you the Dow Jones before we wrap this up. So this is the YM, which is basically futures contract for the Dow. And there's a couple significant things here. If those of you who might have read the big picture report, the original one I did back in March, and then I did some updates for that about more than likely we would continue, eventually at least continue, sideways to down to test or exceed the March low. And what's significant about the Dow, that's what the data is done on. I got data going back to the 1890s in the Dow, is that in the Dow we have not exceeded the February high. That's actually fairly significant just from a statistical standpoint. And also, this past week, of course, we made the weekly momentum bear reversal. And here's what we did the past week. We've already closed below the closing low in September. So there we are. We can see that. We did that earlier this week. That's fairly significant. Shows the relative weakness of the Dow. Also, this is what is considered a bear continuation signal. Already reached the 100% alternate price projection. Again, if I look at an Elliott wave, I look at this as a 1 and a 2, and we're just wrapping up wave 3. We'll get a 3 to 5 day correction here beginning pretty soon. And then the next daily momentum bear reversal should complete what we call wave 4 correction prior to a continuation to a new low. So that's it for today. I think this is going to be a very exciting week coming up. And if you are a U.S. citizen and you're registered to vote, which you should be, and if you haven't voted yet, please get out and vote. Also, wear a mask. Be nice to folks. Let's keep as healthy as we can in the months and years ahead. Take care. Robert Miner, over and out.